Hello, everyone. It is Sunday, and that means it's another amazing episode of Spirit Sessions, A View of the Light for you today. We are so excited to hang out with you all and have our beautiful, blissful time together. Before we get started, please take a moment to share this out, invite your friends, call in your spirit tribe. This is going to be an amazing, fun show for us today that we can all hang out and just really bask in the glow of these amazing crystals that are going to be brought to us, transmissions that are coming through with the amazing Teresa Klan. So you don't want to miss it, and you definitely don't want your friends to miss it. It's going to be awesome. So, so let's get started. Rhonda, can you introduce our guest?
Sure. I met Teresa through Emily Harris's Akashic Alchemy Mount Shasta retreat that we did together. And it was so nice to have a fellow Canadian on that trip. And she comes from the hometown of Victoria, BC, where my daughter lives. So we had that in common. So it was so nice to meet her. And also we have a hometown that we share that we didn't realize until we went on the Shasta trip. And that's Andromeda. That's our home planets that we've come to know. And we find that great. So I'm sharing out. Please share out. Teresa, we're so happy to have you back on this show. We enjoyed you so much. And you're just your whooshing love to everybody. Yes. So everybody come in and share this out. And Teresa, welcome. And tell us just a little bit about yourself that's relevant for now.
Right. Oh, thank you, ladies, and welcome, everybody. Happy Sunday to you all. I'm just thrilled to be here and whooshing love and kindness to all. Yeah, I had challenges early in my life. And there's like beautiful little seeds left from Creator for me. For instance, when I first got mesmerized by crystals, I was really young, watching the Journey to the Center of the Earth movie. And maybe you remember there's one shot at some point where they just sort of, oh, look here. And there's all whatever rocks. And then there's this tunnel of crystals, and they're all like, precious, like emeralds and sapphires. And it was like, look at all that beauty hidden deep underneath where no one knows it's there. Mm-hmm. So subconsciously, my little 5-year-old took that to mean there's treasure everywhere. So, that was really beautiful. So learning a lot through challenges. I needed to heal fractures and become the whole person that I'm thankfully am today. I eventually opened up a metaphysical store, started selling crystals, and took lots of courses. The ones that are noteworthy are Ashi Levy's, the Love and Light School of Crystal Healing. If you want to learn the basics, functional Western approach to it. Also Samaya K. Astor, who used to be called Naisha Asian, and co-wrote this book with everyone probably knows. She's changed her name. Now she's Samaya K. Astor. She's got a real beautiful in-depth one that is my favorite one, and it's just wonderful. And I've taken other courses too, like crystal pranic healing, because I've done lots of pranic healing courses as well. This is a fabulous book. There's so many fabulous books out there, and I co-create with my crystals every day. They had just so much to teach, and I'm really happy to share some of those teachings with you now.
That's awesome. I love the fact, and you do so much. You have a few other modalities that you've dived into, heart math. And do you teach a course on that as well, or?
I haven't done a course yet. My licensing lets me do up to a group of 10 people. A local person who's got this light brain spa wants to get together with me, and we can co-teach once things loosen up a little bit. Where they get their session with her, get into coherence, and get another session to see it. But, Akashic Records, herbalism, Reiki, angel. I'm doing a lot of angel sessions lately, which is quite lovely. Acupressure, it just, goes on and on.
That's so much. Yeah. Amazing.
And you're busy all the time, and I'm so glad you agreed to come on today. So tell us a little bit how you are doing your readings, and just sort of maybe describe what you're doing. Maybe show us your little box, because everybody loves treasure boxes.
Okay, this is something that I came up with, and I use what are called the Crystal Ally cards.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're beautiful. Who are they by?
Samaya K. Astor used to be called,
Yeah.
And after I took her Becoming the Human Crystal program, and I started to use these at fairs where I would draw cards for people. And I always have the matching stone people with me, like in little treasure
I love that.
boxes, and say
Oh,
there's selenite, there's fulgurite, there's spinel, there's a whole bunch. So I've got 4 of these, plus a little half one down there as well. So the people are invited to say if they pull, malachite, they're invited to hold it as I share the information. And then there's also affirmations for each one. And what is really, the juicy part is the energy transmissions that happen, because we just don't want it to go in the brain. We need to embody this. We need to have it integrated within our physical vehicle so we can walk the truth and just not know about the truth or know we could maybe do that. Right. And so the person would get the energy transmission as well. And that's really what it's all about. Yeah.
Very cool. I love that. I love how they get to participate in that way with holding it and connecting with it and integrating it. I think that's so powerful.
Oh, absolutely.
and every stone person, and you call them stone people because they do have their own personality and they are kind of sentient in their own way, has their own energy and specialty energy, I guess you almost say, wouldn't you? Or is it more their specialty energy that works with you?
Both.
Oh.
All of the above and more. I do view things much like Aboriginal peoples do, of the ensouled universe and anthropomorphism, that just because it's a crystal doesn't mean it doesn't have consciousness. But what is really good is all of my stone people here, I've done a meditation where I awaken the consciousness of them. It's like they're little sleeping beings until, it's like, hello, are you there? Oh, there you are. And sometimes when I've done that, they change and they get more sparkly, which is really cool. I remember the most particular one was sunstone, which is already sparkly, but it got extra sparkly.
Wow.
And then I asked each and every one of them, do you want to be working crystals? Would you like to join this tribe, this family I have here to share with people at the fairs? And there's only 1 or 2 that said no, out of probably the 8 dozen that I did.
I have just never thought of asking them.
Yeah,
I feel kind of guilty. So I will talk to them all, and I'm going to have a long conversation because there's lots of them in my group. But yeah, I never thought of talking to them and asking them their permission. I clear them and I love them, and but I never thought of really asking them. That's a really great way.
When I was collecting in a big time, I used to have little adoption ceremonies where I would have my crystals when it was a smaller number, and then, okay, here's the new one, and to see who do you resonate with, where would you like to be placed? How can I best serve you? It's like a relationship. It's like a friendship. It's building the mutual respect, camaraderie, and love and positive regard.
Absolutely.
And we show up for them. Of course, they show up for us.
I love that. Every time I get a new one, I do something like that where I connect with it. At first I clear it, then I connect with it, and then I kind of give it like this welcome to the family kind of, heart-centered connection. And yeah, I kind of hang it out with the ones that I spend most of my time with and see how it vibes. And yeah, it's pretty fun.
That's a whole new world you just opened up for me. I'll be busier than, because yeah, I don't know. I have a lot more space to collect them, so I collect them inside and out. And now tell us. You were going to tell me the difference between rocks and crystals. Can you?
Well, there is difference. I've got all my notes about what's the difference between rocks and crystals, and the igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary. But maybe we'll skip that, or we can do another left brain cross on that, because there's so many other really juicy things to share about this. Like what's all the, why do they work? How do they work? What's all the fuss about?
Yeah. So why do they work? Why do they connect to us? Why do they even want to?
Right. Well, we're going to dive into the realm of the quantum right now. Right. And of course, quantum physics knows that everything else is contained within everything else, like a perpetually unfolding fractal. there's this glorious hologram of ever fluctuating light, gravity, and more. And the science has proven, what we put into that feedback loop comes back to us if we do it when we're in a coherent state. And we will get back to what that means in a little bit here. And so that means that we are able to use positive, life-affirming choices to change our realities, at least to change our perspective on realities. And again, it's feeling it, the healing's in the feeling, not just a top-heavy mental constructs, which is probably why some people have a hard time with, some therapies or talk therapies, right? We just got to, we have to get it. It's almost like, those metronomes when they're all going dysregulated and all of a sudden they all sync up, or tuning forks do that. Or I like to think it too is like homeopathy. Here's Teresa vibing, but there's a little bit, so let's put homeopathy there. Then my system remembers, right, that's part of me too. And then I join up and come into sympathetic resonance with that. And as we work with things like crystals, for instance, we receive ever increasing benefits in our life. So I guess the question is, what do you want to choose as your reality? And how are you vibing today? And crystals can help bridge that for you where you're going, because we can both deliberately receive and emit encoded light photonic energy between people. And crystals are a fabulous example. This is a Lemurian I got
Beautiful. Gorgeous.
like 25 years ago or something like that. And it is one with the soft pinks, and there's rainbows in it, which always appeals to me. Anyway, sorry about that. So with crystals, when we focus our intention, whatever it happens to be, like love, relationships, career, purpose, work, finances, whatever it is, we feel that we're not living to our highest potential, that I would maybe call an intention. And then when we take that intention with a crystal like celestite, mix it in with loving divine source energy that I call brilliance, and by merging them together in a harmonic whole, an intensified, coherent signal is created, like a synergistic feeling, a synergistic equation. So we can jump out of our well-rutted neural pathways and go, I'm getting it. Like, after you have a really good session, and then after a while, sometimes it tapers off, not because of the person that, did the session, but we get distracted and things happen, right? Crystals are your buddies that will co-create with you and help you remembering who you are in spiritual truth and the beauty that you are. And we're all amazing creators, and they are here to help remind us of that, to help support us in achieving that, whether it's clearing limiting beliefs or accessing higher states of consciousness, so we can be present for Gaia to be a more evolved cell in the body that is the consciousness of Gaia. And it's all about getting into sympathetic resonance with the crystal. And so by using the spiritual technology, you can transform yourself pretty simply, that's for sure. And one thing to mention too, how important coherence is for this, heart coherence, like heart math, everyone's heard about, fabulous. And yes, I do teachings and small group teachings and one-on-one sessions about that. But I just like to take a moment now, if it's okay, to share a really quick, simple way to get into coherence, because if your system is dysregulated, and sorry if there's, that's triggering for people, but if it's dysregulated, when you add energy to it, it can increase the dysregulation. So before you do anything that involves the subtle energy realms, even, drawing cards, doing healing sessions, psychic work or whatever, it's really important to regulate your system and switch it from, say, a fight, flight, or freeze sympathetic nervous system dominance to a feed and breed parasympathetic nervous system dominance. So you guys all ready for this? You don't need anything. It's free, it's simple, and it works. And it's from Eden Energy Medicine, by the way. All you do is you take a finger and you do a figure 8 around your eyes. Now you can touch your skin, or you can kind of hoover it above if you want to keep glasses on or for whatever reason you want. And all you do is you keep doing that. And then at some point, you will spontaneously yawn. And when you do that, you know you've switched over into a parasympathetic dominant state. That's being heart coherence. And there's a huge laundry list of the benefits of that. But that's a heart math place. You can look there to see what's on there. But it's really, really important. How are you guys doing?
Switched on. Oh, yeah. Switched on pretty quick. Because
It was good. Actually, I felt as soon as I
I
started it felt just very calming,
Isn't
very
that
just
nice?
soothing. Yeah.
Yeah. What a great thing.
It is. And another thing that's an easy one too is for grounding is, the thymus thump, like just right here. That's fabulous. Like where the little bump is on your breastbone, just lightly tap on there. And that's a fabulous way to center and to ground, especially after some, journeys or whatever, or for doing anything. So those two work beautifully in tandem with each other.
Very
So
cool.
if I can continue, I'll say
Sure.
why
Yeah.
crystals, for instance,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
All of the elements that we have are contained in the body of the earth. Sometimes little teeny bits, like copper and things like micronutrients or whatever it's called, sometimes bigger ones. And the elements oscillate at the same frequency, right? Silicone is silicone. Hydrogen is hydrogen. It just is, right? So because we're on the planet, we are already in contact with the elements, with the minerals, with the molecules, with the everything on the periodic table. We are already in communication with it 24/7. But it's just by and large unconscious, maybe until after today when you watch this, right? And it's like this constant background things because we're all part of the whole, right? And the invitation today is to connect consciously with the stone people and benefit from the medicines and the teachings they share with it. Because when you decide you want to come into sympathetic resonance with the stone, like say rhodochrosite, the communication bridge is already established because what is in here is in here. So it's just being able to tune into that by having the crystal within your maybe 4 feet of your body, your light body, right? And we can train our nervous system to sync up with this ongoing open channel of communication because all you're doing is matching chemical elements together, and we come into entrainment with the crystals, much like, the metronomes there. And with that mutually established harmonious relationship, that will increase the amplitude of it. And like I said, like the synergy, so we can broaden, we can get past where we think we are stuck, right? And what happens is the brain knows the shift's going on. It's like this incoming signal, like any incoming signal, light on, light off, chocolate coming in, everything knows, the brain knows. And it's like, oh, I better pay attention to that. What do I know about this signal? And that brings up thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations, everything. And, sometimes when it's like, oh, I don't like that crystal, right? It's my way of looking at it. It's not that the crystal has, bad or energy like that. It triggered us. It shows us where we need the healing if we're willing to step up and consciously co-create and take responsibility for it. So we learn to perceive whatever the information is, how it affects us, right? And then we can process it in whatever way we choose. And there's all sorts of different ways to do that, including meditating more, right? And then the clearer we get, the more we clear out our crud, right? The more we can consciously and we heal Gaia by healing ourselves. So there's, kind of the two approaches to crystal. The crystal consciousness where we co-create, it's mindful, it's it could take a long time for any noticeable shifts, like any kind of healing can, right?
Mhm.
Some of it's instant, but some of it to establish permanently could take some time. The other approach to crystal is what Samaya calls crystal slavery, and it's unconscious. It's like, fix me, do this for me. It's like using it as a crutch,
Right.
which might not be the most respectful, especially if you have a crystal that's already woke, right? So they will support, it will work, but it won't teach you. And that's the extra benefit of it.
Yeah, difference between having a friend and a slave. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So essentially, they're there for us if we're willing to show up for us as well, right? And one of my favorite ways is to use the Crystal Ally cards. And today what we're offering is to pull 2 cards for those who want them. And you can share your question or not. It doesn't matter, right? And if you do, just something really short, like, and then we'll pull 2 cards. So the first card will be the challenge or what you're unconscious of, where you might need a little bit of work. And the second card will be maybe what you're conscious of, the gifts, the supports, what you already got going on that can help you in addressing the challenge. And then I have the crystals for it. And what I could offer is, if you want, you got to let us know if you want an energetic transmission of one of those ones, of the gift or the challenge card, just so you could tap into it deeper. And if you need to keep doing that coherence technique, just keep doing that to make sure your system takes in this information without getting overwhelmed. Okay, that's really important. And the transition is just something I can naturally do. I don't know how, but I just sort of, I find it. I used to create flower aromas from my hand spontaneously at like 20 years ago. So this is just an iteration of that. So I find the frequency, say, of whatever it is, and then I mix it with that beautiful divine source energy that I call brilliance, and then send it out to the recipient. And of course, there is lots of people here. I don't know how many we're going to get to, but if you choose you don't want to receive the transmission, then just say, no, I don't want it, like, to yourself, right?
Right.
And that's fine, because there could be a lot. And we don't want to overwhelm, or, oh, I got 8 transmissions today. I don't know what day, I don't know what my name is anymore. We don't need to go there.
Okay.
So I think that's pretty much all I have to share at this point.
Okay. Were you going to do one? I'm sorry, I was a little confused. Are you going to do one for the collective, or are you going to do individuals?
Yeah. So let's do an example of this. So Rhonda had the fabulous idea of me doing a very short reading for the collective, which I did before we started. And the first card is the challenge card. What we need to increase in our life is grounding.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that picture.
Smoky quartz. And here is a smoky. Oh, that does look nice, doesn't it? Here's the smoky quartz. And because of what's happening in the planet, the sun's going into its solar minimum phase. The ionosphere shield is failing. All these energies coming from the universe. It's like, oh my gosh, there is a lot happening, let alone all the thought, let's just say thought forms on the planet right now. Okay.
That's a nice way to say it.
My last event, what I did when I, teaching people how to do the grounding cord, I said, whatever you normally have it, triple it.
Yeah.
That is what is needed. And even if you have to keep doing it multiple times a day, right? You just got to keep reminding your body that's its set point for that, right? So it's all about grounding, being present fully without interference wave patterns, so you could add in a positive way to the collective. Okay. And, don't beat yourself up if you feel you're falling short on that. We're not all on all the time. We wouldn't want to be. We need to sit back and just, relax and kind of catch up with ourselves. But whatever you can do with grounding, even earthing, allowing yourself to be bathed in negative ions, try to make that a priority. Now, the gift, or what will help us with this, is one of my favorites, which is Inner Child card, Rhodochrosite.
Rhodochrosite, beautiful pink.
Now, I mean, isn't that just the juiciest image, right? And here's a
Wow.
rhodochrosite.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, they don't have to be that big, right?
Nope.
Beautiful rhodochrosite. And it is about inner child and love, but what's coming to me is self-love. You know, just be compassionate with yourself, show up for yourself, give yourself a hall pass, tune into who you are in spiritual reality in whatever way you can. Again, just clear the clutter and allow your light to shine regardless of what other messages might be coming in here, right? It's so important. And that, of course, once you love yourself, it's not falling in love with yourself. It's not an ego thing. It's just being okay with who you are, warts and all. It doesn't mean there's not room for improvement, but just being okay with who you are, right?
Right now, yeah.
Yeah. So that's a beautiful thing. And so that's the rhodochrosite. And ladies, did you want me to do a transmission of one of those?
I was thinking that if we have time, we could do both, but we should start with grounding because I think, like you said, tripling whatever we have right now would only help us receive anything else, right? If we're connected, then we can receive better.
That's right. Okay, very wise, Rhonda. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to do a transmission, but at the same time, again, if you need to do that, anybody, then just keep doing that to be there. And again, if you need the visual, there's the smoky quartz. It doesn't have to be this stark, right? Okay, so let me just find smoky quartz. There it is, right there. So for those who have eyes to see, be interesting to see what you see. So there's smoky quartz. And now I'm going to bring down the brilliance. So it's about 70% smoky quartz and about 30% brilliance. Okay. Smoky quartz. There you go. Just going to keep transmitting smoky quartz for another maybe 10 seconds or so. It will feel and look like light particles coming into your field, I've been told by a high intuitive. You should feel your energy just kind of dropping, but in a good way. You know, shoulders relax, going down. Okay. Okay.
That was awesome.
How did you feel, Bex? Maybe everybody else.
I mean, like I was settling down, you know, just kind of feeling everything just settling and easing, and it was very, very relaxing.
It sort of feels like a coalescence of all your energy, like everything's called back, and so you become like one again, like, and so things are. So you concentrate better, I would say.
Nice. And now if, you know, the people can remember that tone, then maybe they can bring it up again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They can store it in their body.
Yeah. All right, then.
Cool. That's not my smoky quartz here.
So that's the reading for the collective, like for everybody. It's not just for one person in particular. That's teaching for everybody today to keep in mind.
Beautiful.
And I think the grounding is such an important message for everyone. And you can't make this up because she just chose it. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I'm glad how your stone people chose that.
Yeah. They did.
So maybe the self-love, if we could finish up with that one, because I think once we ground that in and ground in self-love, I think the world's a better place if we can all love ourselves. Because, you know, love your neighbors as yourselves. And if you ain't feeling that love for yourself, you ain't going to feel it for your neighbors.
Right. That's true.
Right?
Although she did say she wanted to do some for the audience as well. And I see Josephine Mitchell is very excited to have one. If we have a minute for that, would you be able to do that? Yeah? Okay, cool. And then we can close off maybe with a little transmission of the rhodochrosite.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. Akira said golden light in the form of raindrops. Isn't that nice?
Aww.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thanks, Kira. Kira's from South Africa, so he's watching this. Yeah,
Lovely,
awesome.
lovely. So Josephine would like a reading, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should I just like pull 2 cards, a general
Yeah.
reading, or is there?
Just one card's
Yeah,
fine.
she just said yes, please. So yeah, just
Yeah.
whatever you feel guided to do.
Thank you. Josephine, may I have permission just to kind of tap into your higher self, just so I could, yeah, okay, thank you. Just so I could pull you, oh, there's a jumper.
I love jumpers.
I like jumpers too. That's a gift. Oh, you have 2 jumpers.
Wow.
There we go. Okay, let me just get this here. Amethyst and cooperate. Okay. So Josephine, for you, the first card that's like a challenge for you, or well, let's put it more like your learning curve, what your next steps could be, is divine connection,
Beautiful.
amethyst.
Amethyst.
And of course, you know, Josephine, no, this isn't saying you don't have that already. It's just that there's more available for you now. And maybe you know that, right? It might be, you know, that you're just too busy, you haven't had the time for it, or who knows what it is. But just know this is available for you. And we'll check to see if you want a transmission or not, okay? And of course, this is an amethyst, little point, pretty purple. And the gift that's here for you to help you with this is Cooperite receptive power.
Wow. I don't know Cooperite.
Yeah, I don't know Cooperite either. That's awesome.
So she used to call that like the divine feminine, but she wanted to get away with that polarity that's created with all that. But that might be a way for people to, you know, understand what it is. Cooperite comes in many forms, but this is the piece that I have.
Oh,
I've never heard of that. It's gorgeous.
Isn't that nice? Yeah, just a little slab.
Nice.
And so the Cooperite is all about turning in, turning down the mental chatter, the volume, and allowing the energies to come to you. Energetically, it's more like channeling energy, vertically, getting the energy this way as compared to the more masculine way of accessing intuitive information or using psychic skills by going out horizontally to find it. Now, I don't know if that makes sense to you. So it's you being present, you know, hollow out. Okay, what do I need to know? And allowing it to come to you. And it might seem like soft voices at first, but with practice, like any, you know, spiritual muscling that we do, they get stronger and stronger, right? So that's the quickie little short readings we're doing. Now,
Awesome.
Josephine, would you like a transmission of either the amethyst or the Cooperite?
She hasn't said it yet, but give her a second. And anybody else can just receive if they want to of these energies, right? Anybody else, even though they're not just for her. That's good.
Yeah, I'll be translating it out to whoever's here and whoever's on the replay as well, of course. But again, if you don't want it, just set an intention. You know, no, I don't want it, right? Which is totally fine, right?
Yeah. Josephine looks like she's still here, but she hasn't said if she wants the transmission.
Can I request the transmission of the amethyst? I think that'd be really powerful for us right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the amethyst. So we're going to do this one. And again, this one is about divine connection. It's a beautiful, beautiful stone. So here we go.
So ground it. Now we get divine connection.
Yeah, that's
so
perfect.
again, if you need to ground, if thymus thump, if you need to, that helps ground and center people too. Amethyst. Oh, there. It's way out here. Isn't that funny? They're different when I do my accordion hands. There we go. Okay, amethyst. This one wants to be like 80% amethyst and 20% brilliance or divine source light energy. This is really strong, so I'm not going to do it for that long. It's a very high vibe stone, okay? Like its amplitude is really high. And here we go. I'm just going to do this for another 5 seconds or so, transmitting amethyst energy. Okay.
Wow.
Josephine, I hope that worked for you. I hope we did well for you there.
And Jan Harrison said she would love that amethyst
Yes,
transmission
that
too.
was amazing too.
That was
That was
beautiful.
like scalp massage.
Oh, it hit right at my heart chakra. So that's wonderful. Wonderful.
But you notice the difference in that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
you're already training your nervous system to pick up the information. And if there's any little wobble or some part you resisted, there's a teaching there for you. If you choose to pick up that thread.
Jan says she got it. Yay, Jan. Yeah, good. Awesome. So, Teresa, tell us just before, or let's see. Yeah, give us a little bit of what you do. So the audience wants to get more of you, because they will. Tell them how to find you and what you may be doing right now, even during COVID times, and how you're available to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Rhonda. I live in Victoria, BC, but of course, with the internet, clearly things work just as fine as if you're in person, right? That
Absolutely, it's all energy.
So my website is www.teresaklan.com. That's TERESAKLAN.com. And that has a listing of all my, services that I do that I'm available for. I've disabled my booking calendar because my schedule changes so quickly. And so just go on there. You'll find my phone number, call me and we will organize a date or time for sessions. I do these crystalline transmissions. I also do it for flowers. And I've just found out the other day with tree energy as well.
Oh, awesome.
Because trees have been really in my field for quite some time. They've always been really chatty with me. There's no doubt about it. So about 2 months ago, I started opening up the Akashic Records of trees, receiving their teaching, like of one tree, then did it with the oversoul. And I make essences. I've been making essences since, the cows came home, right? And, like with brandy, right? And I'm going to be making an oracle card set with them as well. Coming soon to whatever near you, right?
Awesome. That's so.
And so the other day I did it again with this really high level intuitive, and we did cedar, and it worked. So I think I can kind of transmit things, at least the ones I know that I know. So there's the transmissions. Lately I've been hired a lot for angel intuitive sessions, right? Which is pretty cool. I do oracle card readings as well. Reiki, no acupressure now because of, current world situation. And I sell oracle cards for sure. Let's see. I don't know. I kind of forget sometimes because it's just all. I did an experiment with a lady the other day where we did an R and R. So we did Akashic Records, we did card reading, and then we finished off with a couple of minutes of Reiki.
Wow. Oh, that's powerful.
Yeah, that's a good package deal.
I know, it's pretty good, right? And my rates are pretty good, so you can look and see. And there's little.
And they're Canadian. Just letting you know, Americans, that's 30% off. Sorry.
And the prices include GST, and they would take, like a Zoom platform, for instance, and I send you a recording afterwards. Wow. I do have Instagram and Twitter and, Facebook. Facebook is Transmissions with Teresa. I don't get all excited about doing technological things, but I do it sort of sometimes, at shows. I'm the people doing readings, and also I sell dozens and dozens of different oracle card decks, and I'm going to have a pop-up store soon, just in a community one over in mid-June. So I'm really excited about that. So I teach about tarot and oracle cards, and I don't know, I just kind of have fun. I've just done so much studying where it all comes in, like the Akashic Record sessions, I've been told it has a very shamanic feeling. And we all have our own unique gifts when we interact with that and the different aspects of it and where we can go with that. So often, like, ascended masters come in and, Kuan Yin wants to be with you. So I do the transmission for that as well. Like an initiation kind of.
Very cool. You have your own way now. You've downloaded your own way to get into the Akashic Records with other people and do that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
Yeah, I did. I call it the crystal clear method because it involves what else? Crystals, right?
That's right. They just want to be everywhere, don't they?
That's perfect.
So, Bex, you have some questions for
I
Teresa.
do. I have the 3 fun questions now. You ready?
Yes.
All right. So the first one is, if you had to choose a song to be the theme song of your life, what would it be?
It is, I believe it's called, I Think I Found My Hallelujah, or Hallelujah.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Leonard Cohen, dreamy
Right.
one, the young guy.
Yeah.
One.
The
I
TikTok
think
version.
I finally found. Yeah. Okay.
Very cool. Love it. All right. Second question. What is your favorite crystal that you're working with right now?
Well, for many, many months, it's been this beautiful celestite.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as you know now, not just this celestite, but celestite as a whole. And it's really been instrumental in my connection with high spiritual realms and my own higher self. But just a few days ago, it seems I'm shifting over to a rutilated quartz. This is, you can't really see, but it's golden rutiles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, again, very, very angelic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just sort of, so that they're nesting beside each other as one kind
Can
of.
I ask you? I've heard that celestite sometimes has fairies living in their caves.
I'm sorry, has what?
So that there's fairies living in the caves. You know how
Oh.
celestite has often got the little caves.
I do have a little cave in mine too.
Yeah.
I saw that. That's cool.
I heard that fairies live in them, but I just wondered if you had any experience with that.
Absolutely. Fairies are everywhere. I'm actually a certified fairyologist too.
Mm-hmm.
Of course I am.
Of course
right?
you are.
Right.
And that's part of what I do. I actually have a fairy elemental that's just sort of over there with me all the time. And I think that's in part why I've been so drawn to crystals, and seeing that movie Journey to the Center of the Earth just really lit me up with that. For sure.
Beautiful.
For sure.
That is good. Gives me tingles.
All right. Third question. Have you ever experienced extra dimensional intelligence?
Yes, I have. In part, what I've done, because I've bilocated, so I would suggest that would also be in that realm of being physically 100% present in 2 locations at once. In a good way, right? And I've also bilocated and been in 2 places and 2 times at the same time. So that would be that. And of course, Rhonda, like you were saying, Mount Shasta, about a year ago, I guess is our anniversary, eh?
Coming up,
watching all the light ships. And even before we drove away, I was looking up and there's these 2 white lights traveling in parallel. And I thought, well, that's odd. Airplanes don't do that. Or falling stars don't do that. And then they went bleep and they turned and did that.
Wow. It's amazing.
So
it was an amazing trip, but yeah, we saw lots of that, guys.
We did see.
And it was nice that we all saw it together sometimes, because then we know we weren't going kind of.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, and one thing too is I do have a fun letter I put out every month or so. And you can go on my website and subscribe to it, or just let me know somehow. And the last one I just put out, I used Christie's Loved and Blessed as a feature in there.
Awesome.
Oh, that's excellent. I put all your information in the header to this video, so you can just click on the web addresses and get right to her Facebook group and to her web.
Can I share one more quick thing?
Absolutely.
When you go to bed at night, you can use a selenite slab to rest your eyeglasses on.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I've got lots of quick little things, and this is an important one. For months, I used black tourmaline, but I switched to this, and I kind of prefer it, but experiment with that.
Well, I will be doing that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was sleeping on top of it, but it wasn't really very comfortable.
Put it under your bed.
Oh yeah, I suppose I had it under my.
But they're very fragile too, so you have to be very careful with them.
Yeah, but I will put my glasses on it. That's an excellent idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
It'll give us clearer vision, or vision into. What have you found the big difference with that?
Well, I think with the black tourmaline, it returns it to a neutral state, because black tourmaline has its own standing frequency oscillation.
Right.
Well, they all do, but more so. That's a different conversation. But with the like Diana Cooper calls that the unicorn stone, right? The ninth dimensional. It's so high vibe. It's like solid liquid light that instead of just bringing it to neutral, which is fine, it brought in this extreme lightness. Like the biophotons actually were like bonding with the glasses. So,
oh, gonna do that tonight.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
yeah.
I like that.
And I have them on all the time, so I would really like
me
to.
too.
Yeah, yeah, I would really like to see that.
Yeah.
So difference. I'm going to try that. So put your selenite down and put your glasses on it tonight. Woohoo!
I
Yeah,
love that. Great tip.
I'll get another piece and put my husband's reading glasses on it and see if that helps him.
And he's gonna go, "What are you doing?"
He's given up asking that question. I have to tell you, he just gives up. What are you doing using Reiki on the seed drill for? What are you doing using Reiki on the hay elevator for? Cause it needs it. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. He's given up.
That's great.
Why are you planting stones with the apple tree? Because they wanted to go there.
Oh, Rhonda, you're priceless. I love you, darling. You too, Bex.
I love you too.
Thank you for having me here today.
Well, we'll have to ask
Thank
you
you.
back again because
Yes.
we just, we love your energy, and I just, it's like coming, meeting my best friend again over the whatever. It's so nice to have you here, and thank you all for being here with us. And we have someone else that we haven't seen for a while coming on next week.
Yes.
Cara Melinde, who's a part of the Akashic Academy. I don't think you've met her, but you've probably seen her, Teresa. And so that'll be fun.
Amazing with astrology. She is an astrology queen.
Oh, cool.
We are very excited. Yeah. Very excited. Big with empowerment.
And she's from the other coast. It's coast to coast Canada this week.
I feel so like out of the loop here.
Well, you're
Just
close.
sit back
to
and
us.
enjoy the ride. I do have one more announcement before we go. It's a big one.
Okay.
Okay, so the winner of last week's Share It Out from our happiness episode with Jacqueline Pirtle is Deborah Williams, and you won with Rhonda. Congratulations. And not only did you win a session with Rhonda, but you also won a free book from Jacqueline Pirtle. So you can go on her website, I believe that's freakyhealer.com, and choose a book that we can let her know, and she will send that to you. So congratulations, Deborah. Very exciting. And don't forget to share out this week, guys, so you can win a session with me. It will announce at the end of next week's episode.
Awesome. That's awesome. And I'll let Deborah
hello,
know.
beautiful. What a
And what's
sweetheart.
What's the name? I can't remember.
Coda Marie.
Coda Marie.
I love that.
I love that face. That's such a great face.
Like a little teddy bear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Love
Thanks,
you.
everyone. And we'll see you next week.
Yes,
I just
have a
have
blessed week.
to get my right thing going here.